Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the blogging function in ClickHubs, or if you're a high-level user, you have no doubt seen the blog section inside of your own HighLevel account. So this is a complete A to Z tutorial on how to use the blogs from beginning to finish. Talk about the pros and cons compared to WordPress versus using HighLevel's blogging feature. And I'm going to actually show you something very interesting. We decided recently to move our website into HighLevel. We were using WordPress and we haven't had a blog yet, so we decided to launch a blog using the blogging feature inside of HighLevel. And our very first blog we just launched, and within 24 hours we're showing up in about the number 4 or 5 spot on the front page of Google. And so I've seen a lot of people say that the blogging in HighLevel is terrible for SEO and things like that. So I decided to put it to a test for our own members that want to use it. And so far I've been impressed with the SEO results of our very first article. So granted, one article is not something that I'm going to stake my claims to, but I was very surprised to see within submitting our article to Google, it showed up immediately on the first page of Google. So your pages will get indexed no matter what. There's a lot of factors that go on with SEO, so keep that in mind. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to do your on-page SEO setup, including things like H1 through H5 titles, using alt tags, and various other things for SEO. And by the time you get to the end of this video, you'll have a full understanding of how to create your own blog inside of HighLevel, how to make it seamlessly blend with your main website, including the same headers, same footers, adding call to actions and things like that. And there's really a lot of different components that go into it. And so let's just jump straight into that, and I'll show you how to create your own blog inside of ClickHubs, or if you're a HighLevel user, inside of your own HighLevel account. And before we do, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and like this video. And if you are a business owner or looking to launch your own business, click the link down below. ClickHubs has a free 14-day trial. We have an amazing CRM built on top of the HighLevel platform, as well as an amazing community here to support you every step of the way. If you're looking to have your own business, your own agency, if you use our affiliate link down below to sign up for your own HighLevel account, or if you upgrade from the $297 to the $497 using our link down below, we're here to support you as well. We've got a ton of resources, a ton of experience in this area. Just reach out to us if you do sign up with our link, and we'll be happy to help you out and help you achieve the same success that we're having using the platform. So with that said, let's jump into it. We're going to show you the A to Z setup for your ClickHubs, aka HighLevel blog, and I will see you on the other side. In this video, I'm going to cover how to create a blog inside of ClickHubs, or if you're a HighLevel user inside of your own HighLevel account. This is going to be a complete A to Z tutorial showing you how to start from scratch, creating your blog, setting it up, SEO optimization, adding all of your data, images, things like that. And by the time you're done, you'll have your blog and ready to start adding your posts. Before we get started, you might ask, should I use WordPress for blogging, or should I use ClickHubs or HighLevel for blogging? And so in our case, we've decided that we're going to go all in with the ClickHubs blogging. We have been using WordPress. We're big WordPress users, actually. I've been working with WordPress for close to 20 years myself. I still consider it one of the best blogging platforms out there, and very good for just websites in general. There's a ton of plugins. There's some very good SEO plugins for WordPress that you can use. And so the ClickHubs blogging platform is going to be a lot more limited than what you can find inside of WordPress. However, there are some drawbacks to WordPress, being mainly you have to keep the site updated regularly. If I update plugin today, literally within 15 minutes, it's very possible that there's another plugin update required. And so plugins, themes, they're being constantly updated. And if you're not staying on top of that, you're really increasing your chance of getting your site hacked. WordPress sites are pretty notorious for being hacked anyways. So if you're not taking very proper security measures, you're responsible for that. Whereas in ClickHubs, it's all managed by the platform itself, so there's nothing for you to do in terms of security updates or things like that. So it's just a much easier process. It's all hosted inside of ClickHubs, so you don't have to pay for additional hosting. It's included. So, you know, there's pros and cons both ways. If you're a serious blogger and this is your main source of income just from blogging, I would urge you to stick with WordPress. You can do a lot more there. But if you're just looking to have a solid blog and get some SEO ranking, I think ClickHubs will work just fine for you. And so we're going to prove that with our own blog. If you follow our journey, you can see how we do with SEO. We're going to start keeping track of our rankings and things like that. So follow along and let's put this practice into reality and see what happens. So with that said, we are going to get started. We're going to go into sites and then we're going to click on blogs, and just a quick explanation of how blogging works inside of ClickHubs or in HighLevel. Again, if you're using HighLevel, it's the same. We're using HighLevel as our core platform. So you can have unlimited blog sites, and sites are separate than websites or funnel sites. So the blog sites are independent. You can create as many blog sites as you want. And the good news is you can use the same link as your main website. So for example, we have clickhubs.io as our main website. I can use that link also for my blog site. So I can have clickhubs.io/blog, and that will take me to the home blog page and then the individual posts from there. So you can integrate this with your main website using the same domain, and then you can add the same headers and footers and things like that. So it's very easy to make a seamless experience from your main website to the blog to make it appear as if it's all the same website, so people don't know that they're going to different parts of the platform. So that's really awesome. And within the blogging site, we have two templates. We have our blog homepage template, which is also used for categories. So if somebody clicks on a specific category, that same template will list the posts in that category. And then we have a single post template, which is a template that's used for your single post. And I'll show you in just a moment how those look out of the box so you can have a full understanding of that. And then we'll show you how to make those look like your regular website. We'll cover the SEO settings and all that as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my new site. You can see up here we have some basic analytics in terms of how many blog posts you have, how many blog sites we have, and how many visitors per week. Nothing too elaborate here, but it's just a quick snapshot. As you get more blogs, you can search your blogs here. And then you see I have 3 existing blogs here that I've archived. So inside of here, you can come in here, preview or delete the blog. If you click on the blog, you can come in here now and you can go into your settings and adjust those. So this would be where you'd set the names, the slug, the SEO meta information. We'll show you how to set that up in a moment as well. And so now let's go back. And so now let's create our new blog site. So we're going to come back into the main blog screen and I'm going to click new. Before I do that, you can see also we have some settings here. This is where you would access your authors, categories, and RSS. So if you want to create a new author, you can add your information here, author name, photo, author description, and you can add some social media links here. Or you can edit any existing authors. Same with categories. You can come in here and you can add your categories here. So as you add a new category, you're going to give it a label, upload an image, recommended 512 by 512 pixels, no larger than 10 megabytes. Add your alt text for the image for SEO, and also very important for visually impaired people using screen readers so that they can know what the image is about. And you would add your slug. This is going to go after the default /category/, and then that would be the part of your URL that's going to be for the category and your description. And then lastly is if you want to create RSS feeds for this. RSS links are used for different things. You can use this for social media posting in our social media planner. You can also use it in the email campaigns so that it will send out campaigns when new posts are added, things like that. So very useful there as well. So we're going to go back now and create our new blog site. So we'll just click new. And we're going to give it a blog title. We're going to call this ClickHubs CRM and Marketing Platform Blog. And before you can actually use it, you do have to have your domain set up. So we've got plenty of videos showing you how to set up your domain. But once your domain is set up, you can just select it from here. And then you're going to add your slug. We're going to call ours blog. You can call it articles, or you can call it whatever you'd like. And then it gives you the actual link here to the blog homepage. And then if you want to add a new domain, you just click add edit domain and it takes you into the domain editing screen. Again, we're showing you how to set up the blog, so we're not going to get into details on setting up domains. We've got a ton of videos for that. Here's the blog meta description. So you should add something that this is going to be used for the SEO meta information. So you should add something here that's specific to your blog. From now, I'm just going to say blog meta description. You want to have some keywords in here. So welcome to the ClickHubs CRM and marketing platform blog. Definitely would recommend using your main keyword in here. You don't want to overdo it on your keywords as well. And I would try to get to as close to 100 as possible. And I'll come back and update this. But so yeah, we'll spend some time optimizing this later. But for the purposes of the video, I just want to show you how to set it up and what you need to use here. You've got a little icon here that tells you this is what appears in the browser tab title bar and search results. And it's also very important for SEO. So I would also include your main keyword in here and keep this around 60 to 70 characters as well. So we'll create that. And with that, we'll have our blog site created, and then we can start building out the actual blog site. So now we get to notice that the blog was created. It takes us back out to the main screen, and we can actually create a blog post now. So let's just do that really quickly. And I'm going to call this test blog post number 1. And it recommends an image size of 600 by 400 pixels here. So I'm not really sure about why they recommend that size, because they actually look pretty distorted in most places that I'm using the image. And then the alt cover, you want to describe the image. So this is going to be an envelope icon. Again, this is really good for SEO, but it's also very important for people that are using screen readers, people with visual impairments. So their machines can read to them a description of what the image is so they can have a better experience here. So very important for that as well. And here is the same thing. This is going to be 100 to 250 characters. This is your meta description for this post. So this is very helpful for SEO. And also this is what's going to show as a description inside of Google and other search engines. So here is the meta description for this post. Use your keyword here and make it interesting. So you want to have your main keyword here, and if you don't know what the main keyword is, you should definitely decide what you want to target for SEO as the main keyword for this post. And then you can use this in places like the title up here, very important, the post description. You don't want it to be spammy, you don't want to overdo it, but you do want to include it here. It's very important. And again, the post description and the title, these are what's going to show on Google as well. So you want to make sure these are going to encourage people to click through Google search results to your blog. So you definitely want to spend some time and make a quality description here. So we'll create the post with that said. And once we come in here, we've just got a blank page. So I'm going to paste some information here, and then we'll talk about the formatting options that we have. So I'm just going to paste some text here and we'll go over this. So it's basically like an editor that you might see inside of Word, and you can come in here and you can see I've got my different headings. So this is the heading H1. We're going to have an H1 on the page, which is the title of the page that we entered in the previous step. And so that's going to be automatically an H1 tag by default. So that's going to automatically be an H1 tag by default. And what H1 tags are is there's a series of tags. It's actually H1 through H6, but we only have through H5 here. But these are headings and subheadings for the page. They add structure to your page, and they're really helpful with Google and other search engines to tell them what the page structure is, and so it can scan your pages. So these are really very important to have on your page. For shorter articles, I would recommend doing at least H1 through heading 3, and then for longer articles, I would also do heading 4 and heading 5. And so I'm going to delete this because this title is going to be already on the page as this part up here. So we don't need to have that in the content. And then as you go through here, you want to have a series of, you can see this is a H2. So if we click on that and look in the drop down, this is H2, this is H3, this is also H3 and H2. So they're just nested. So within H2, you can have multiple H3, which would be subcategories of that section. H2 would be the main sections on the page. As I said, you definitely want to use these for SEO, very helpful. And then for the paragraphs, you can decide what font size you want. So as well as the H tags and things like that. I would say keep this consistent throughout. So if you're doing a new article, you want to make sure you're using the same font size for your H2s, H3s, and things like that as well. And just as a standard editor, you can bold, italic, underscore. You can select your font here. We're going to set our font in the template, and so that should override this, and I'll show you how to do that here. And then here you've got your default spacing, letter spacing, alignment. You can indent things. You can upload links, images, audio, video, quotes, emojis, dividers, and custom code. I have noticed that the custom code does strip out some elements. So for encoding purposes, for security. And so, for example, I was trying to insert some schema markup in here, which is really helpful for SEO, and it stripped out or it encoded the characters so they're not actually valid. So you're not going to get 100% of the code that you enter here working properly, but you can use basic HTML and things, probably not JavaScript so much, but you can try it and see for yourself if it works. And in the advanced, it just allows you to add margin here, which if you want to have margin for this, you can do that there as well. And then you can format the content. You can use Content AI, the built-in Content AI, to generate your content here. Remember, this is a paid feature, so if you use this, there are going to be some AI charges for that. And then we're going to save this now that I have some content here. And then from here, you can duplicate the post, preview it, or this is a nice feature. You can see the version history. So if you want to go back to an earlier version, you made some mistakes or things like that, you can come in here and view that. And then up here, you can restore the version that you want. So this is our current version, so we can't restore that. But if we go to the previous version, we could restore that back to a blank page, or if you make any other changes. And so that's really a useful feature if you make a mistake and you need to go back to an earlier version. So that's it for now. So we're going to just continue, and this is going to take us to our publishing screen for this post. And this is where you can adjust your slug, which is, you can see down here what the URL for this post will be, clickhubs.io/post test-blog post number 1. So a lot of times if you have a longer title, it might say like this is test. So what I would recommend is getting rid of any filler words to keep your slug as short as possible, but also you want to make sure your keywords in there. So if you have words like and, the, if, or, you can remove those from the slug so that your slug is really just the important words here, and make sure you have your keyword in here also for SEO. So those are very helpful. And then your canonical link. This is going to tell the search engines what link to use for this page. So we'll enter the same link that once we get our final link. A lot of times you might have something like UTM parameters, things like that here. And so Google may pick those up as well as an alternative version of this page. So you might have the same post showing in Google with different type of link formatting. So setting the canonical link tells Google we're only going to use the root version of this link. We're not going to use any other versions that might have some extra parameters behind it. So very helpful for SEO. And then here you can select your categories that you want this to display in. You can also add new category here as well. And then keywords, you can add keywords here. These are going to be tags, so they're going to show at the bottom of the post and allow you to view other posts with those same tags. So if we say test post, we might say SEO, workflow. And then these will also be used in the meta description, although most search engines ignore the keywords in the meta description, so not a huge deal these days. But it is nice because once we get the post up, I'll show you where you can see these keywords as well. And then for author, you select your author, and then we're just going to publish this now. You could also schedule and publish it for a later date, but we'll just publish it for today. So we have to go back to the 21st to publish, and then save. So once we update that, we have our post, it's published. You see the categories here. You can do various things, update, duplicate, change SEO details, or preview the post. So let's preview our post. And there you can see we've got our post, we've got our image here, and so everything looks good. One thing to note, these links aren't working here, but if we go to the actual live blog, they will work. So let me just go there. This is a preview, so let's go back. I'm actually going to duplicate this just so we have a couple posts. And let's go back out here. So now you can see we've got our 2 posts here. And let's go back to the main blog site. And then let's preview the blog. So here we got ClickHubs blog. The other post isn't published yet. You can see this image is a little distorted, although inside the post it looks okay. And then now if we click on the image to read more, you can see this is also distorted in my live post. So something with the default CSS doesn't allow these images to render properly, but we can worry about that later. So now you can see this is our blog post. These tags here now work, so they take you to posts that have similar tags or categories as well. So you can see here we've got our, if you look at the link, it's blog/category/workflows. And then if we come over here to the tags, you can see it's blog/tag/SEO. So the tags will work as well as the SEO to categorize things differently. And so this is what you get when you create a blog. You're going to get, if we click here one more time, we're going to get 2 pages created, which are our templates. So come up here and we click Edit Blog Site, or we can edit in a new tab. And so the blog creates these 2 pages for us. These are our templates that are going to hold the blog content. And this is where we can add headers, footers, and things like that. And I'll show you that in just a moment. So by default, you see you just have a blog post element. And then this is for the blog homepage, the categories, tags, that type of thing. And then if you come to the drop down, you have also a blog post page. And so this is our default blog content. Here, we'll go over this in a little more detail. But when you create your blog by default, you just get 2 blank template pages, one for your homepage, categories, tags, that type of thing. And then the other one is for the blog post itself. So they're really blank slates, and then you can build around these in the templates, and we'll show you how that works. So let's start with our blog homepage. So we want this to look the same as our main site, which is ClickHubs.io. You can see we've got our just basic header here. So for now, we're just going to add this same basic header. So I can come in here, and if I go add elements, I can come to section templates. So I'm going to select homepage header and just drag that out. And now you can see I've got my header here. Sometimes these don't render exactly like they should. So I'm just going to come in here and grab this button color since it didn't copy over properly. And then we'll just carry that over. So I'm going to just update this color here. Let's add my custom colors. Perfect. And then we'll also go in and adjust the border color so that it's the same. Okay, so now once we publish this page, we can go back to our blog homepage, refresh, and we should see our header there now. So now that matches the header on our website, so it's a pretty seamless experience. Might need to make a few tweaks here since our button width changed a little bit, but basically this allows us to make it as if the blog is part of the same site. So even though it's a different part of our platform, we're able to seamlessly integrate it into our main ClickHubs.io site. Same URL, same look and feel. And so the next thing we can do is we can also come back and add our homepage footer. So we'll add that there, and we've got a little bit of CSS, so we need to copy that over here that we're using on our homepage because we have a gradient background. So let me just do that quickly. So I'm going to come into my CSS here, paste that code, and now you can see we've got our gradient added here. Everything else is working as expected, so we can save that and publish it. And then now if we refresh the page, we should see our footer. And personally, I like to have the footer floating at the bottom, so I'm going to add another little snippet of CSS here to just default that. So that's just a personal preference. As your page gets more content, this is going to automatically push down to the bottom of the browser anyways, but this is just how I like to do things. Okay, now let's refresh this page here since I've added a little snippet of CSS and see what we've got here. Great, so now my footer is at the bottom of the page, and this will expand as content gets longer. Next, we're going to set up the blog content here. We're going to go over all the different options there. Before I do that though, I'm going to just add a few more posts here so we can see what it looks like once you get a few more posts in place. So let's just pause the video and I'm just going to duplicate those. Okay, so now you can see I've duplicated my posts and I have 6 posts on the page. So if we refresh the page, you'll see I've got my header, footer, I've got a load more button here. And so if you click on the load more button, it loads the additional posts here, and then once you click into the post, we still have just our blank template, so we'll need to fix this page next. But before we do that, let's just finish setting up this content here so you understand how all of that works. So let's go back here into edit blog site, and then we're going to click on the blog post element, and we're going to add our title, ClickHubs CRM and marketing platform blog. So let's just keep it consistent. Now, one thing to note about this is the H1 tag for the page. Again, I mentioned earlier you should only have one H1 tag. And so if you want to have your own H1 tag above, maybe you want to have an H1 tag and have another paragraph or something below, you can do that with the builder directly. So if you wanted to make this your H1, but there's a glitch in this in that if you delete this title here, it still outputs an empty H1 tag. And so that's for SEO, you really should only have one H1 tag on the page. So just keep that in mind, and hopefully that will be fixed by the time you're watching this. But as of right now, even if you leave this empty, it still outputs an empty H1 tag. So if you wanted to use your own, you're going to have two H1 tags on the page. So, and the reason you may want to do that is, let's say you want to come in here and have maybe a sub headline here and maybe a button or something, call to action. Let's see, we'll add a button here. So you could style this header section the way you want. Whereas if you use this one inside of here, you can't really put anything underneath it. You don't have a lot of customization. So that's the only reason why it would be nice to be able to have our own H1 tag up here. But in the purpose of keeping things optimized for SEO, I'm just going to leave it like that. So now when you go through the options, you have the options of using a compact display or a standard card type of display. It says here, this blog content will be replaced by actual post content. So this is just a preview filler, but you won't see this on the front end. You'll just see the actual blog content. And then here you can select which categories you want to show in here. If you want to exclude a category from showing, you can do that as well. We'll just leave it as all posts. And then you can decide if you want to show or hide different elements of this section here as well, and also optimize your images on page load. So that's really it for the settings. Pretty straightforward there. In terms of styles, you can come in here and adjust all kinds of things: image background color, border radius, padding, things like that. Same with the post, the tags. So if you want your tags to have more padding, you could come in here and make your tags a little wider, more oval shape. So you have a lot of flexibility here in terms of the styling, but still pretty limited in terms of what you can do. It's really just these presets here. You can't really customize much other than that. So button placeholder. So if you wanted to make your button look like an actual button, you could actually add background colors and things like that. And then in the advanced settings, you can come in here and you can say, box shadows, add custom classes and things like that. So that's it for the blog section here. And so as of now, I don't believe there's a way to control how many blog posts show on this page. I think it's limited to 4, and then with the load more button. So that will hopefully change soon as well. And so that's it. We'll just publish this. One more thing, if you wanted to add down here some call to actions, you could easily come in here. Now we have a lot of really cool pre-built sections. So if you want to add a call to section here, you could say, let's just do this. Ready to give us a try, get started. So let's publish that and take a look now at what we have. So if we refresh our page, you'll see now we've got our title here, we've got all of our posts, our load more, and then our call to action. So this is going to show on all of these category pages. So if, let's say, we go to, let's go back into our post here, and let's say we go to our workflows category. It's using the same template, so you'll see we still have the call to action here. So this is going to show on any of these type of pages, but you can add whatever content you want. So I really recommend adding some additional things here that's going to help your business. And then again, if you load more, it just adds the extra content here. So that's really it. That's our homepage is set up. Our category pages are set up and ready for us to come in here and replace these with actual posts. Next up, we need to go into our single blog post page. I'm just going to copy this CSS here because we'll need this on that page as well. So I'm going to go to the blog post single. And again, this is what we're starting with here. So we just have a blank slate. And so we're going to add in our templates again. So let's go to section templates, and then we'll call these, we're going to look for our homepage header. We'll just add that there. And then we're also going to delete that. And then we're going to add in our footer as well. So we've got our footer, and then I'll just paste in my CSS so we get that going. Perfect. I'm going to save this, and you can see our button, for some reason it's just not copying over. So I'm going to go back to the other page and grab that color so we can just pop that over here. These custom colors don't show on other pages, which I think they should really be available to every page inside of the builder. So this was our color here. Okay, so let's go back now and fix that. And then we'll be set here. Then we'll show you what this page looks like, and we'll go over the settings as well. So background color, we're going to add a custom color here. Perfect. And then we're going to set that for the border color as well. And we'll publish that and take a look at it. So once we refresh the page, you'll see now we've got our header, we've got our footer, and then we can add additional things above or below this as well. So let's come in here and let's say we go to our pre-built sections. If you want to have call to action, or maybe you want to have FAQs at the bottom of the page, you can add those to the bottom of your page. So there we've got our FAQs. And then if you wanted to add something up to the top, you could add any kind of content up there as well. Let's see what we've got here. We've got list, call to action. I mean, if you wanted to add some logos up here, brand logos. So you can really customize this however you want to. Maybe add some category links here, things like that. So we'll just save this and publish it so you can see. There's one more element I want to explain to you here. And so let's refresh this page now. So now you see we've got some logos here. Down below we've got our FAQs. Really, this is a good place for call to actions. You want to add a newsletter sign up, or you want to have some information about affiliate links with buttons to those things. You can have all that here. And this is going to be the same on every single blog post page. So if we go back to the blog, and let's say we look at the original number 1, you can see it's got the same. So again, we're creating a template. This is going to be the same on every single post, and the only thing that's changing is the blog post content for this page. So just keep that in mind. One other thing I want to show you is there is one element here. Let's just add that in here. If you go into elements, you'll see under blog we have a category navigation that you can add in here. Let's publish that, and I just want to show you one thing that's really important to note here. So if we refresh our page, and then I'll show you how to set this up on the category page as well. But let's publish that and let's get this thing. Okay, so now you can see we've got some categories here and we've got a search. But if we come in here and try to search for something, you can see it doesn't work. So this search is for the category pages. The documentation is not really clear, but this doesn't work on the single page or other pages. So we'll need to come here and we're just going to delete this here. I'll just undo this. Publish this, and then we'll go over into our blog homepage and we'll add the category here. So this is the other thing, like if I wanted to add it under the title, I couldn't do that because using this built-in title, there's no way to have that control. So it'd be nice if we'd be able to just do that, have more control over that. Okay, so now we've got this set up. We can come in here and we can see, I'm just going to delete these. And if you click on the category, it brings up a pop-up. We'll call this one workflows. So you just want to give a name to your category. You can open it in a new tab or not. And then category 2 is going to be SEO. And then category 3 is going to be, we'll just call it test, just to match. And right now the drop down is just go to categories. I imagine they'll give us an option to have other links in here at some point in the time, but right now there's no option here. And then we can include a search bar and include a home icon. The home icon goes to the blog homepage, and then the search bar gives us the search bar. So now if we publish this and we preview our main page here, let's go back to the home blog. You can see we've got our search here. So now if we come and search, I'm going to do, let's say copy, and search that. So let's see. So I've got all these are the same, so the search isn't really, it's not really a great way to show it to you, but let's just paste this and see if it works. Okay, there we go. So we searched for all these copies, and so only one result here. If we remove one of these, we should see 2 results. So 2 showing. So the search box only works on this page and or the other similar pages, like if you're in a category page or the blog homepage. It only shows search results for these posts. So once you click in here, it doesn't work on that page. We'll probably see that coming soon, I would imagine. But for now, just keep that in mind in case you want to add that to other pages. You really can only add it to your category pages. So with that said in mind, let's head over to the single page and finish up there. We've got the option here. This is pretty basic, but for the author box, this lets you hide this information. So if you want to just limit what you're showing here, you can control that here. And then that's really about it. Class names, box shadows, spacing. That's really the only control you have here. You can control the width of your blog content if you want to here within the builder. So you do have options here as far as if you don't want that to be too wide, you can control that, or with custom CSS, of course. But that's really it for the blog. Everything else is done inside of the blog post itself. So if we click here again, we can see our content is going to be a little bit thinner. The other thing we can do is we should be able to set our text here. You may have some text overriding on the single blog post level because you can actually set your text there as well. So let's just update that, and then let's see what our text is here. Yeah, so if the text is set, in this case it's set on the blog post level itself, then you'll have to go in there and adjust that as well. And then the other thing is these SEO settings in here, these are going to be taken from the blog post itself. So you can experiment with this, but maybe the social image, I'm not sure if you upload this, if it's going to take precedence over the blog post, but most of these settings will be done in the blog post setting. So I don't believe most of these are going to work in here. So you may not need to do anything with here, but definitely experiment with these and see if any of these are working for you. And then you can set those there as well. That's really it for the single blog post. And if we come back out into our main blog post, again, this is where I was saying that sometimes these fonts will take precedence. So it's set to sans serif. So in here, you'll have to come in here and then set your font choices. Let's just highlight all of that. And then we're going to set this all as a custom font, which is going to be inner. And then we'll make sure it's a 1.5. And then our font size by default is 18. But you can see that changed all of our headers and everything. So you want to come in and update all of those. So for H2, that's going to be a little bit larger. Maybe that's a 36. And then an H3 might be a 24. This also gives you, it's really nice for allowing you to get some visual control over your page. When people are kind of scanning and things like that, it makes it easier for people to kind of scan through the site and look at different sections. So we'll just set these here, 24. This is an H2, so this will be 36. This is a 24. H3. This is an H4, so we can leave that as an 18, or maybe we make it. So these are pre-default, so you can't really type something in here also, so that's a little bit of a limitation. So that has to be either an 18 or a 24. This is an H2, so we'll make this one 36. This is also H2, 36. H3, 24. Another H3. And another H2. So now we can come out here and let's go back to our main blog, and then let's select that first one and take a look at it. So now you can see our different sizes here. So a little easier to scan, and you can come in and tweak this and adjust it just to make it even easier to read. But still pretty basic, but it's definitely getting better all the time. And I think it's good enough to have a solid blog working on your site without paying additional hosting fees, without having to worry about security, updates of plugins and things like that. And so if you're not really worried about monetizing your blog, but you just want to have a good solid blog that will do good in SEO, I would really recommend giving the ClickHubs blog a try, or the HighLevel if that's your use case there. Now you also have the option of, as well as the blog sites, you can actually embed posts into your other websites and funnels. So if we head into our funnels, and it'd be the exact same for websites here, I'm going to go into my demo site here and open that up. And let's just edit this page. So you see we've already got this page built out. We've got our header section, some content in here, some FAQs and a footer. And we're actually going to move this one up above here. So we've got our footer there. So let's say I want to have a blog post before my FAQs. So I can just click here, add a new section. And then I'm going to add a 1-column row here and add element. You can see now in blogs we have blog posts, so I can add some blog posts here. And I have a couple options over here as to how I want to display those. I can do standard, or I can do a compact formula, and then we can choose our site that we want to pull from here in the drop down. So we're going to click from our new site, and then we can also sort them by recent posts by category, or recent posts by author, how many we want to show maximum, and then whether we optimize or not. And then you have some basic styling options and things like that. So here you can have padding, box shadows, classes, pretty standard. And then now if we save this and preview it, we should see our blog posts populating there on the page as well. So let's head down here. And you can see I've just got the one here because we just have one article. I deleted all our other demos. And then if I click on this, it just takes me straight over into the blog. So it just allows you to have a really seamless integration. Once again, you can display blog posts on different pages inside your websites or funnels, and you can style this to match the page that it's on a little bit nicer as well. And let me just do one more. We'll switch it here to the standard view. And then let's come out here and preview this. And you can see we've got our card view here. So we would have 3 across here if I had these blogs populating here. So you may want to come in here and update your padding and things like that. You can use custom CSS if you know what you're doing with custom CSS as well. But yeah, it's just a great way to incorporate some articles in a different section of your blogs for better engagement. And before we go, there's one last thing I want to show you. So when we created our blog, we came to the main screen here, and we didn't have this advanced settings option. So when you're creating the blog, you don't have this advanced settings option. And you want to make sure you come in here and toggle your advanced settings. There's a couple more things here that you'll want to input. So one is your favicon URL. This is the image that's going to show up in the browser bar here. You can see I tried to add a custom value, but it doesn't work in the blogs yet. So I'm going to actually just copy this actual URL, and I'm going to paste that here instead. We'll just paste that there. And then we have the option to add our head tracking code. That's going to be things like your Google Analytics tracking code, your Facebook pixels, any other type of code that you need to add to your head tracking code, as well as the body tracking code. So this is going to go inside of the body tag. And so an example for that is I'm going to add our Facebook global pixel. So I'm going to copy that. I can use custom values here. So we have our pixels loaded in here. And so I can use my custom value here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that inside of here. And then I'm going to also add my Google Analytics tracking pixel. Well, this is actually my Google Tag Manager. And so we'll add that in there. And we also will add our body tracking for Google Analytics. So currently, I have my Facebook pixel separate from Google Tag Manager. We'll be merging that into one, so we'll just have the Google Tag Manager and everything will be handled inside of there. There's a conflict with the funnels. When we're using the Facebook conversion tracking, it also adds the tracking pixel as well, so we had to temporarily remove that, but we're working on fixing that. So really, if you're using Google Tag Manager, you can just add this here and then add all of your pixels and tracking inside of Google Tag Manager. But anyways, you just want to make sure you add whatever codes you want here, whether it's done through custom values or you add the actual code here into the header, head tracking, body tracking. And then if you want to use a chat widget, you can turn that on. If you need to be GDPR compliant, you can load GDPR Google fonts instead of the regular version of those as well. So then we'll just update that. And that's really the final thing here. Now, if I come to my blog and I refresh my page, you can see that my Facebook pixel is showing here. And so that's all loaded from the tracking codes there. And that's it. And then you can see we've got a little bit of additional styling here. I loaded a video in here for this blog and styled that a little bit with some custom CSS. But it looks very professional, looks very nice. So, there's still some shortcomings, but overall, I think it's a very good start, and we should see some additional updates coming soon, which will hopefully take it to another level. All right, guys and gals, so I really encourage you to give it a try yourself. It doesn't take very long to set up at least a basic functioning blog, and then you can see if you're going to be getting results with your articles indexing and things like that. You can see the strategy we used for this particular blog was taking a YouTube video, extracting the transcript, putting that into ChatGPT to rewrite it for us in an SEO friendly way, and it worked out really, really well. And so this is one strategy that we're using that's going to allow us to have very keyword rich articles, and we should start ranking for a ton of different things here very soon as we add these articles and get them live. So make sure to subscribe to our channel. We've got a lot of amazing videos coming up. We've got a ton of content already if you want to go through and check those out. Click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. And again, if you're looking to start your own business, or if you already have a business and you're looking to improve with your automations, scale your business, click below for our 14-day free trial of ClickHubs. And if you are looking to have your own agency account with HighLevel or upgrade to the $497 plan, click below using the appropriate link. Reach out to us, and we're here to support you in any way we can, including sharing our resources and our knowledge. So with that said, hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next one.